Hello, everyone. Welcome to the part 2 of the Fan Takeover Rough Draft podcast. Now we're going to talk about the NALCS. Some major fans of the NALCS here, and also some EU people. Everyone's still here. We got Fallen Death Star. We have Shadow. We have a Kegel.
Rick Fox!
No.
Yes, all the Rick Fox. We have Titan.
Hello.
And we have Striker. Yeah, Striker. Words are hard today.
Yeah, words are hard for you apparently. Yeah, we have...
Yes, they are.
We have
Alabama.
number one Dignitas League of Legends fan. That's all you
Because
need.
he's the
They're
only
making a
one
comeback.
left. Okay, so this is a golden these minds of of League of Legends knowledge is a golden opportunity. And so we're going to talk about the 10th place team, Golden Guardians, sponsored by the Golden State Warriors. This team is interesting, and for all the wrong reasons. Somehow they have two NA talents that I would like on other teams in contract indefinitely. They have half of Old Liquid in Lolo and Matt, and they have Mickey. Oh Mickey, oh my God why? Oh my God why? Oh my God why? Hey Mickey. So, we want to talk about this. Do we have to call them a team?
I know it's supposed to be because I'll probably be a bit nicer on them than most people will be. I personally like a lot of the players on GGS because I'm biased towards past TL players a lot. I think Orlo's still a very serviceable top laner whose biggest problem has been there since the start and hasn't seemed to be fixed with his TP. I think Matt's very good for laning. And if you want an AD carry to be focused on lane phase, Matt's a really good support to have with that. As for their jungler, I think Contract is no doubt really good. I think he was a little worse last split, but I think that sort of comes down to how the team in general can hurt your jungle pressure a lot. And I think, honestly, when I first heard about it, getting Mickey, I was really unconvinced, and I thought it was a bad call. But as I thought about it a bit more, I think Mickey's not a bad fit for this. He's the kind of player who can just literally, it's always said, can just take over a game. And when you're fighting around bottom area, having a player who can just win you a game here and there isn't a bad call. Having a player who can just sort of dominate a lane, especially or not even dominate, but go toe-to-toe with the kind of important lane for mid lane, with how much talent we have in mid lane right now, I think Mickey's a pretty good fit for this team.
My question with Mickey is which mid laner do you see that he may able to assert his will over?
I don't think he comes in above most mid laners. I think he falls into the area of doesn't roll over. I think he'll be better than someone like King, but you're not expecting him to try to outperform Bjergsen. You're not trying to expect him to outperform Jensen, players of that nature. Expecting him to be able to play out the lane, not fall behind miserably, and just be a strong player.
Okay, anyone else want to talk about this? Have a golden opportunity to talk about this team?
I don't want to talk about them.
I have a lot to talk about for them. So you've got Lolo, who I will always put as a low mid-tier top laner. Most of he's native, he's solid. I would put quite a few top laners by him. I'd probably put him around 7. You've got Contract, who's a really good jungler, but the team didn't really work for him with everyone losing lane all the time. You had high last split in lane. He's rolling the dice every game. It's very much like old UOL and Power of Evil, where if you have a good game with them, they match up really well. Their comp is even if the comp isn't as good as the other teams, they can just come in and stomp you and completely destroy you. And Mickey, I think, he can beat every mid laner in the world in lane sometimes. The problem with Mickey is his highs are incredibly high and his lows are incredibly low, and there is no in between. He is either performing at a top 3 in the world level, or he's performing at a bottom tier wildcard level. There's not really a middle there. And then you've got definitely the AD carry. He's young. He's has a lot of potential. I'm still not sure why Golden Guardians went for Deathly over Rakara. It might just be that Rakara picked up by a different team first. But he has a lot of potential. I think he's going to do really well in next year and the year after. But I don't think he's someone who's going to truly step up until 2019. And you have Matt, who, if your team's winning, he's great to have in the team. If you're going for lane and you're winning lane a lot, brilliant. You have Matt. He's going to do well. But you start losing games. I see him having a similar issue to Steelback, where you're losing, he loses confidence, and he's going to underperform massively. So yeah, overall, I have the team coming in at 8th, but that's mostly because they're the best of the basic.
Yeah, just as a little reminder for what I had, and I forgot to say what I placed them. I had them at 8th as well, actually.
Okay, I have them as 9th, because this is my visual representation of the spirit of Golden Guardians this split. They're just this dead inside, but at least they have an idea of what they're doing. That is not what I can say of every bottom tier team. So yeah, I think this is a gamble. It can work off. I don't think they will make playoffs, but I think they can upset some teams. I think they have the potential there.
As someone that's been watching this from the other side of the pond, I tune into the LCS just to see, can this team win? Could they take a win? And I got disappointed every time. But it was fun games. Not so much fun for them, but they were fun games. And I think they can do better this split, but not by much.
So for me, yeah, I'll talk about this team, but I wouldn't consider this a golden opportunity. But yeah, I think overall the players are solid. I think, but there's such little firepower on this roster. You got Orlo, who's like a mid to low tier top laner. You got Contracts. He was really good on Cloud9, and there's probably no doubt that he's still a really, really good jungler. But when you have lanes that are losing, it's hard to make an impact as a jungler. You're kind of like subjected to like. But yeah, you got Contracts, who's always been a good jungler, even in Cloud9, and like, but you have losing lanes a lot. It's hard to kind of make an impact. Hi. Bye. I'm glad they subbed them out from Mickey. I think they were missing that extra bit of mechanical skill that Golden Guardians lacked in the mid lane, and Hai wasn't solving that issue. He has a great mind for the game. He knows what to do. He has made good decisions for the most part, but he doesn't have the mechanics to keep up with all the other mid laners in the LCS. Then you got Matt and Deathly, who we're starting to look towards the end like a bot lane that can actually stay competitive. Do I see them making playoffs? Nope. But overall, I am going to put Golden Guardians at 10th place.
About this, their team. All right.
So,
The next.
just one grain of sand more. This is my concern from Golden Guardians. In
Next.
almost every other team,
Giant train wreck of a team. It's Optic Gaming.
Yep.
most other teams have someone in the academy roster that can complement their team or make it a little better. Golden Guardians, I don't see that. That's worrying for me.
Yeah, that is quite worrying.
For the academy team.
It's a
The
problem.
academy team is Sig, Potluck, Buff Queen, Benji is special.
No, sheep.
Oh yeah, they changed that. Yeah.
Sheep and Benji used to be Lod. So that's the academy team. And Ziggs. The next team is Optic Gaming, a new team that got in by franchising and did nothing with it. Their team is now consists of Flame. Wait, that's my one.
No, Dokla. Flame is FlyQuest.
Dokula, Acadian, Power, Evil, Arrow, and Big. And also Gate. Guys, I want to have a donation. For $5 a day, you can help Arrow find a world support. Go to www.arrowworldsupport.com and donate your money in the eyes of an angel.
I will say this, at least they didn't get Kongpon.
Like some teams.
Oh, we're going to talk
go
about that with a
Well, now
Okay,
it's just Claude.
so
Now he's just Claude.
I'm gonna ask to go first for this because I'm very furious at this team because I have no idea what they are doing. Like, honestly, what is the decision making on your team? What's your priorities? What's your game plan? What's everything? I'm just tilted, man. This is the 10th place them for me, not because of lack of talent, because I think the talent is there, but the decision making of the org is so confusing to me.
I have no idea what they're doing too. Like, okay, you have even Arrow. Okay, that's a good core. Acadian can be good as he was on the Echo Fox last split. He was okay then, but Dokula and Big, and then he had Elimination. You want to supports are important. This ain't season 3. Just bought wards and been the ward bot. Two things. Replace Arrow with Arrow and Big or Gate. Yeah, that's gonna work. That is so gonna. Good job, guys. So great. GM freaking year there.
So the one upside I will say about Optic Gaming right now is that Acadian has like 1,000 hours on Graves. That will work for some.
Yeah. I think the issue with Dokla, he's young, and he's gonna grow. I can see stuff for him. He's already a better option than Zig. Yeah, Acadian, he's not great. He's he isn't he's not going to be a top tier jungler anytime soon. I don't think he ever will be. But he's going to work in the current meta. He's going to be fine for the team. You've got Power of Evil and Arrow. Yeah, they're a great carry duo when they're on their game. My problem is they have Big now, and they let go of Lemonation. So when we saw the Optic signed Lemonation to begin with, the assumption I had, and I think a lot of other people had, was, okay, you have Lemonation, you have him for your first year, then you move him into a coaching role, because that's where you ideally want Lemonation, because you get him for his notebook and not for his play. I don't mind them picking up Big and Gate, but I think Gate is better than Big, and I think they're going to be swapping those two out quite a lot to see who works better with the team, and I think that's going to hurt the team overall. I don't have Optic improving at all. I think they're coming 9th again this split, and I I really hope that they can do something with their roster next year. Their academy team is pretty bad. I can't see anyone apart from Palafox there coming into the team. They've got to get some players from somewhere else. But yeah, they're not looking.
I mean, I think Gate can come in and Alluring maybe for some series. But yeah.
Yeah, my thoughts on Optic are probably not a unique one. I think they're pretty disappointing. I like Takadian as like a North American talent in the jungle. I think he's always been one of the worst ones, no matter what team he had been on. But I think their bot lane is going to have the same problem it always had, because you have Arrow on it, who's been bad in lane every time, and as soon as it gets exposed, he's just like, he falls apart. With Lemon, he didn't help him at all. With Big, I don't think much changes in that way. I think their top lane won't be worse. I mean, they changed out Zig at one point, and it wasn't worse. Dokla performed slightly better. Power Evil is good, but I don't think he's good enough to carry despite the rest of his team.
Okay, so...
And I had a minute.
Well, after we took at that optics of that situation, let us fly away to supposed to be a better place. But it's not. No, it's not. All right, Chase's team. We really need to talk to him about finding better teams. Like, this is bad.
No, we'll just like put those teams in a coma, just like this FlyQuest roster. I don't know.
Okay, so let me go over the FlyQuest roster so people understand this. In 2018, this team is Flame, Centauran, Keen, Wild Turtle, Quan.
Yeah, Quan now.
It's not
I
Quan,
don't
yeah.
care. The thing, you make it seem like I care. I don't. If he's good, then I might respect his name decision. But until then, he whatever I want to call him.
Cut the guy some slack. You have to play for Liquid.
Hey, some players. One player got out of Liquid, okay? He had to get cut by
got
two
out of
teams.
Liquid, battered and bruised.
He had to be cut by two teams. That we talk about him later. But
Phoenix also survived Liquid. Just saying.
Yeah, he had to get something Challenger.
Yeah, it's FlyQuest is not in a good spot. So first, you drop Ander to your academy roster and you sign Santorin. So you've gotten weaker there. Nothing changes in the mid lane, and they've still got Keen, who was, I'd say, the best mid laner for them in spring. But he's still going to lose pretty much every lane. You've got Wild Turtle AD carry. He can be good, he can be bad. It depends entirely on how he's feeling that day. You've got Conquer at support, who doesn't help at all. This team is, on paper, the worst team in the league. I have them coming 10th because I just can't see them doing anything. They look horrible. They're not going to do anything. Like, if they don't make a switch in week 2 or 3, I don't think they win a game.
Yeah, they going 18 games, 0-18.
No, they're not going to win 18. They're going to win some games.
Who?
They're just not going to be able to win against Clutch Gaming. Let's just say that.
Death Star. Where you see a win?
I see a win against maybe Optic Gaming assuming like they know they still haven't figured out how to actually close a game, and Golden Guardians because, like I said, there's very little firepower. If I had to choose between Deathly and Wild Turtle, I choose Wild Turtle. If I had to choose between Flame and Dockla, no, Flame and
Dokla.
Flame and Lorlo, my bad. I'll choose Flame, like because like I don't, because even despite Lorlo's solid performances, I don't think like it's enough to carry Golden Guardian team in a win. Like so, yeah, I can't see a whole lot of bright spots overall. I have the team coming in at 9th.
That's overrating them. Shadow. Let's talk about what your opinions on FlyQuest, because I have nothing.
I think it's an interesting team. I think most of what they did was side grade, and I talked about this a little bit. And it's interesting to me dropping the players that they did. It almost feels like they're trying to just not spend as much on the team for the time being because you're not going into the split no matter what changes they made with who was open saying, oh, this team might go to World. You're saying at best, oh, this team might be going to playoffs. So I think it makes sense to sort of drop players that you don't plan to take forward and just sort of accept that you're not going to be great to split either way. And I think it's interesting with the players they have. I think the two teams that they could expect to maybe have a chance against are Optic and GGS. I'm less so sure on GGS. I think that their mid lane's much of a problem for them against GGS. But I think for something like Optic where someone like Wild Turtle could beat Arrow early in lane and snowball that is very doable. Again, you still have the weakness in mid lane. So I think this team's weakness in mid lane with no other lane picking up that slack is sort of their biggest problem.
Okay, so anyone else want to talk about Titan?
Because one of the things that we discussed in Europe that we haven't discussed here yet is roster swaps mid-season. Now, I know the American system is a bit different because you have the academy teams, you can swap people up and down, but not having a consistent roster is a really bad thing, especially through the mid-season. They're changing 2 players, one into one of the worst junglers EU has ever had. These are trash, and they're picking it up.
TSM killed him.
He wasn't even good on TSM.
No, he wasn't.
He was never good.
No, he wasn't. And I don't see this team doing anything this split.
My thoughts on FlyQuest, I have them locked in at 8, and I think I'm the guy that's higher on them. And most of that is just because they have Flame. And you can win a lot of games just by having the best player on the field. And I think Flame will solo win 1 or 2 or maybe 3 games. And that will save them against Optic and Golden Guardians by a lot. I can see Flame having a field day against Dokka. Also, I think Wild Turtle is solid, so I can see them winning a couple games. That's why I have them 8. I don't think they're as bad as the other, and they have some upgrade potential with Ant and JJ. I think if they make the same team but with Ant and JJ, they have a more solid roster.
Yeah. If this team wins a game, I don't know. All right, that would be counterintuitive to logic. And we're going to talk about our 7th place team, Counter Logic Gaming. They had no changes, except on the Academy team when they bring in Wiggly, which is interesting. Because the problem with CLG is Rainover. Oh God, Rainover is so bad. I like the guy. I would like hang out with him, but oh God, he's so bad. Okay, we couldn't hear you.
Is his reign over? Sorry?
It's more like game
Don't
over.
you dare start with the puns.
More like game over. So,
I'll spearhead this.
right.
I like CLG. They performed really well towards the end of last split, and they made no changes. They are improving massively. They were a game from playoffs, which would have put them in that big tiebreaker situation with a lot of other teams. I like Brainover as a jungler, and I think the meta is going to suit him really well. I also think with the AD carry changes that Stixxay is going to step up a bit more. Biofrost is still really good. He is a criminally underrated mid laner in NA. He's really good at roaming and getting the other lanes ahead. And then Dashon is actually really good at League of Legends. Sometimes he doesn't show up properly, but most of the time I would count on Dashon to at least go even in lane. I might be overrating the team a little because I do like their roster, and I like their coach, and I like if something does go wrong, their academy team isn't bad. And that's why I actually have CLG finishing the split in third place.
Okay, sneaky big question. Will they bring up Wiggly on CLG?
I don't think they bring Wiggly up this split. I think they're moving on from Rainover next year, and they're going to bring Wiggly into the main roster.
I think there's no reason to lose the synergy you already have with Rainover.
Yeah, I like the team. I always find it funny how TSM was talking about like, oh wait, we want a shot caller as support. Now we let go Bioforce, and COG just say, hey Bioforce, want a shot call? He said okay, and they look massively improved. It was kind of funny.
Ha ha ha! It's almost
TSM player development low.
It's almost as if TSM kind of shot themselves in the foot. Oh wait.
They're actually next. But okay, Shadow? CLG.
I think CLG's a pretty interesting team to look at this split because I think they're really polarizing with how people think they'll do. Some people will say, oh, well, they didn't make any changes and they weren't that great, so they'll be bad. Some people will say, well, they worked really good at the end, so I think they'll be really good. And some people are like, well, 50-50, maybe bit there, bit here. And I'm mostly on the last camp. I think the progress that they've clearly made, they're better than the team that they were at the start because they actually have any semblance of shot calling, it seems like. But I don't think they're going to... I don't think they improved alone. I think every other team in NA had time to improve, had time to learn what they needed to, and had time to move stuff around. I think that CLG is sort of in a camp where I seem to put a lot of teams, which is fighting for just the tail end of playoffs. But I have CLG making it to playoffs over another team in 6.
Okay, yeah, I have a question. Let's think about this. Let's say CLG made it to playoffs this spring. You think they would done? What do you think they would have done, everyone?
TSM.
Yeah, they would have taken the spot of TSM in playoffs.
Yes.
And I think they would have done the same as TSM.
They lost the clutch.
I think they might have given a different show because it's not like a big underdog story, but I still don't think they beat clutch.
Okay.
I think they would have lost to clutch, but not by as much as TSM did.
Titan.
I think they would have stood a chance against Clutch, but I think the same as the others. It would have gone to 5 games and Clutch would have touched it out.
Alright, so are we done with this counter?
Yeah, well, I think for CLG, they have a really good let's see, they have a really good coaching staff.
Okay,
Fine.
third sneaky big question on CLG. If they falter this year, will Ziggs be on the hot seat? Because you know what they say about coaches, if you stay in a place too long, the messages get stale.
He's definitely going to catch fire because, CLG, because they have this, the community has this perception, CLG, they always that he has a good pick and ban phase, whatever, and you know how some NA fans tend to be, and goes wrong, yeah, they're quick to write them off. But at this point, I wouldn't out the coaching staff. In all honesty, I think historically they've always been good.
If CLG misses the playoffs this split and next split, that's the only time Zix is going to be on the hot seat.
Yeah. So overall, I think for the regular season, I have CLG at the 6th seed.
Okay.
So they'll just barely make it to playoffs.
All right.
I have them around, fighting for the playoff spot. I'm not 100% writing them in the playoff spot yet, but I have them in the close race. Alongside some other teams we'll talk about later.
All right. Well, that was a very good team effort, and some solo effort as well from some great analysts. For like our next team, Team Solo Mid, surprisingly 6. Their final streak have been broken, and they're keeping the same team. It is Honso, Mike Young, Bjorksen, Zed, Miffy. Well, basically, in my opinion, this is the Team Solo Mike Young, because since Mike Young hot meteoric start where he was literally doing all the stuff, he's kind of and like, can TSM actually do something I've never seen them do? Develop a player to be more than what they already are? So that's my question. That's how the whole season. Can they make Mike Young better?
Make Mike Young great again.
I was about to say that.
I think TSM, unsurprisingly, is probably a favorite to either win the split or at least be in final. I think saying that they've never developed a player is very disingenuous when they literally let go of a player they developed last season.
He didn't. Shadow, I'm sorry to cut you off. They didn't even ask him, can you shot call a game for us?
They did because he shot called in the beginning of the split when they were bad, which is why he didn't stay shot calling. They had said themselves that they had tried it out and it didn't work well for the team. But beside the point, I think they're a team that is without a doubt one of the strongest teams. If their ball lane can stop being uncomfortable or whatever it was with them, I think they'll definitely be competing for it.
I call it passive. They were passive. Like, how many games of Ezreal? Let's find out. Let's play the guessing game. How many games of Ezreal? How many games of Ezreal Zen played this last split?
7.
10.
Top
It's
80.
not bad. Ezreal was safe and could carry a bit, and
Also, he was a great performer during the split.
yeah.
Like, TSM, I have them improving, but more because I don't trust other teams to keep their form. I don't like the fact that they still have Mythic. I don't have them getting to finals. I'm not sure if they get past quarters again. And I think my main issue with this roster is they have Mike Young and they have Mythic. They're two players that I think were weak points for them at parts in the split last split. And like, I have them finishing fourth, so I'm not too low on them. But yeah, I predicted them to come sixth in the spring split, and they came sixth in the spring split. Entirely because I looked at the patterns that they had, and it was exactly the same. And this time is they didn't let go of Yellow Star. Like this scenario is literally just the what if they kept Yellowstone, and I think because the meta is good, they're going to have a better start than usual. Especially because Mike Young is a lot better on carries than he is on tanks, and also everyone calls Sven Myth the best bot lane in the West, or they have done before the last split, and then they got exposed. And I think it's because Sven isn't one of the best AD carries in the West. He has performed really well with Mythy, but I will never put Sven in the conversation for best AD carry in the West until he can perform without Mythy. Because in everything I watched, I watched some of TSM Legends, and I don't see Sven talking in the game clips they put up. I don't know about the whole game because I'm not in their comms. But I think it is the bot lane for them is surprisingly a weakness, and the jungle is a weakness as well, as it has always been for TSM.
Okay. Do you want to know TSM first 2 games are?
Sure, let's hear it.
One is CLG because American Chalone, and the other one, I don't know.
Okay.
CLG and FlyQuest.
Yeah,
the
CLG
first
FlyQuest.
games.
Week 1. They can start off 2-0 or 1-1. They probably. Okay, their first real test is Clutch Week 2. And Week 2, where they play Team Liquid and Clutch. By then, we will know what there are.
If I'm TSM, I'm telling myself, 2-0. I need the best start I can. I need as much momentum. Week 2. We all know historically at the beginning of the split.
All right, Titan, your opinion on Team Solo Mid?
Yeah, I'm actually gonna go slightly the opposite way. I don't see this team has its peak. They can't improve. They've reached the top of what they are able to get out of their team. I don't see any player on this team improving. And when you are at that point, you have to start getting people out. You have to get better players in. Players, not necessarily players who are currently as good or better than the players are, but players who have the potential. Björksen has reached his potential. I don't see him standing up to other players like Bebevan, like Jensen, like Bobalter. He's not that caliber anymore, and he's not going to get better. I'm worried for TSM fans, because if TSM loses out in another quarterfinal, or God forbid if they don't make playoffs, there is going to be riots.
That'd be the funniest. Reddit will burn to the ground. It'll be
Yep, Reddit will be deleted, hacked by TSM fans.
Okay, here's the question. Is this, because Brooks is not leaving TSM, is this Haunter's last split on TSM? Is Haunter gone?
Yeah. I don't know, it's hard to say.
So Haunter bringing in Pike Lord?
Yeah, they do have Pie Cake Lord on their academy roster. And somebody on this podcast likes Pie Cake Lord.
I love me some Pie Cake Lord.
Here's your academy roster: Pie Cake Lord, Greg, Abraze Olive, Mr. Riley's, Shady.
I like 3 of those players.
I like 2 of those players.
Yeah,
Pie Cake Lord, Ablaze Olive, and Mr. Raleigh are some pretty decent players. I think Pie Cake Lord needs a bit more time in academy. I'd say he's probably a summer 2019 pickup for LCS. probably not on TSM. But Blaze Olive, I'd say 2019 he's going to be starting on the team in LCS, and Mr. Olive I think is going to be a leader in Academy for a very long time. I just don't see much coming out of the main roster.
What are the odds TSM actually care about Academy? Because that's kind of the vibe I felt like I was getting. Because that's kind of the vibe I felt like I was getting when I actually like watched the games until like the second half, but I stopped watching. But that's the vibe I felt like I was getting. Like the Academy system, saying like, oh, everything we do is for Worlds. Everything we do is for Worlds because we want to win Worlds. You couldn't even win your spring split this season, and you're talking about wanting to win Worlds. You can't even win MSI.
Okay, question. Big time question. Do they make it to Worlds? Remember, they only have 10 championship points.
No, they don't make it.
No.
They have to win big.
They have to win the gauntlet, and
but big is on Optic Gaming, Jedi. They can't win big.
This season for TSM is season 6 Fnatic, or season 7 Fnatic. Like Fnatic missed Worlds, and then they came back and were like, "Okay, cool, we're gonna win something now.
We're gonna change everything."
Yeah.
But you think Red is gonna change things?
On TSM.
Yeah, the thing I see in TSM the most is not that their players or their playstyle is getting exposed, but their system is getting exposed. You didn't see that before when we have only mediocre and somewhat good teams, but now that every team is basically good, or most of them are very good, you can expose their system very solidly. They don't know how to play around a jungler, and even if they did, it's a lot of pressure to put on my junk for the split. That's why I think they won't.
Okay. Well, TSM need to hop on and get on the Cloud9.
Hold on. We didn't do predictions. Well, some of us didn't give our predictions.
Some say they'll make playoffs.
Well, I think they'll make playoffs. I don't think they're gonna win summer.
I think they'll win.
I have them finishing at second at the end of the regular season.
That's pretty high for them, I think. Yeah,
That's pretty high.
I have them losing in quarterfinals again.
That's cool.
Shadow, your prediction?
TSM, like I said, I think they're second.
Okay. All right.
I have them on the 6th race as well. Close race with CLG and Cloud9.
From one old guard to another, Cloud9. My big sneaky question for Cloud9 is how much they, well, I'm going to cuss right now, how much did they fuck up letting go of contracts and putting in Spence Garen?
Not at all.
The ramifications weren't as bad as it could have been.
But you let go of a promising talent that you can go with Licorice and have this core of Licorice contracts, Jensen and Smoothie for a while, but you gave him up.
I think Spence Garen's better. Spence Garen fits their style better. The meta's going to be really good for Spence Garen this split. Jensen is still a really good player. Sneaky is also a really good player in the position they have him in at the moment. And Smoothie is probably the best support. I put him the second best support in NA. My only issue with Cloud9 is Licorice. I think it's going to take him a while to find his feet this split. I think he's going to do decently, but I think he's going to be average for most of the split. I have Cloud9 coming 5th, but not because they aren't strong. It's because I think Licorice can be exposed, and I also think that other issues in their team can be a little bit exposed.
I don't think it's the end of the world for Cloud9. We obviously, Licorice got exposed when the top lane meta shifts to a more tanky style of play, and he obviously struggled with that at the second half. And that's how Liquid were able to beat Cloud9 3-1, if I remember correct.
No, they got swept.
3-0. Okay. Okay. But I don't think it's the end of the world. They got Reaper. They got Rapid Star, one of the best coaches. I'm not saying he is the best. He is one of the best coaches out there. And I think that I see Cloud9 contending for a world spot at the end of the day. If we take a look at our power rankings, I have them coming in at number 4. I think that they'll be fine playoff teams. Too much talent on this team and not miss. And I can see them contending with TSM for that world championship spot.
Alright. Well, to follow that, I am far less optimistic about this 90. I think their players are very meta-dependent, and Svenskeren really not showing amazingly on tanks, and I don't expect him to turn around absurd skill on carry. They're talking to show no ability whatsoever to play tanks, and to be shown to be a complete liability when he does. And their support being Smoothie is really good, but he shows his best when he's on a roaming or engaged support, which isn't necessarily not going to be what the meta is. It's not looking like that for the beginning, but meta has changed plenty during the season. But having that be such an important part for your team is very iffy to me. Sneaky and Jensen will always be good players, but you can't always have your mid lane be a full carry. Carry meta's looking like it's going to be a slower burn for AD carries, which is not a good sign either. So honestly, a lot of things I don't like about this team. I think they made no effort to change what could have been their problems. They might have changed stuff behind the scenes. They might have helped train players better. But there's no way to know that until the season starts. So because of that, I'm still pretty low on this team. I actually have them fighting with CLG for 6th place, and I think they're going to lose that fight and drop down to 7th.
C9 looks good when they get ahead, when they play well, they get the type of champions that they need. It's just that the meta doesn't always fit what the team needs, which was so obvious going into the quarterfinal last split that they just got exposed and completely shut down. They have incredibly well-talented people, but a comparison here to TSM, they both have really, really talented people, but I think you can get more out of Cloud9 than you can get out of TSM. I still think they will make playoffs. I think they will make at least quarterfinal and possibly even to the semis, but there are other teams that can do.
All right. Any more questions or opinions on Cloud9 before we move on?
Yeah, I have them as well on the 6-spot race. I have them higher than both TSM and CLG. Unlike the rest of the cast, I was actually positively impressed by Licorice. I think he had a fantastic split for a rookie. We have to take into account that it's a very strong top-focused region right now with Sunday, Huni, Flame. So I think he did well, or at least well enough to be continuing development. I think Svens will be very good, at least the first half of the season. And the bot lane is solid. That's all.
All right, let's go back. Let's go to the 4th place team. But one of the biggest surprises ever, Clutch Gaming beating TSM, but then looking so bad against Echo Fox in the third place game. It wasn't just the day? Did they get too much time in Miami? Did they spend too much time in the nightclubs? Which are nice, by the way. Very nice. So, what team? Are the team that beat TSM in the playoffs, or the team that got ramrodded by Echo Fox? Or there's something in the middle?
First comment, I think it will be someone in the middle, because Echo Fox team was very strongly a counter almost to Clutch Gaming. Strong in the top lane, where you have Solo and Lyra, that definitely didn't show up. Alright.
I think at the end of the day, Clutch is basically the NA misfits that we had, which is unsurprising given their stat. Where I think their ability to prep far outweighs their pure individual player skill. I think their individual players are able to step up when they have like a drive to, and I think they might benefit from less pressure as well. But I don't think they're just a shoo-in to be a good team. I have them finish, I believe it. But I don't think that fifth place finish is sort of an inherent problem. I think they're not bad.
Yeah. With Clutch, yeah, I have to agree. They're not a bad team, but they're not a great team. I have them coming in 6th in the regular season. I think they can come in, they can surprise in the playoffs because they are great at prepping. They focus a lot on the stats. I think Lyra is going to do better this split. I think the meta is going to favour him a bit more. I like the bot lane of Apollo Hakuo. I think Hakuo is the best support in NA. I think Apollo is a great third option for them. Unfortunately, they don't have a true second option. Then they've got Featherven in the mid lane, and Featherven is amazing. He is top 2, top 3 in NA as a mid laner, depending on how Bjergsen performs. Because I think as a pure mid laner, Jensen is number 1. Bjergsen might fall off a bit this split. I think he's going to fall off much, but I think as time goes on, Bjergsen's going to fall off a little bit more. The biggest problem with Clutch, like Cloud9 and opposite of FlyQuest, is top lane. Solo. Not many people like Solo as a player. I do quite like him. He's a great player if you have him as the worst player on the team. He doesn't lose lane too horribly. He has a couple of champions where if he gets the right matchup, he can win the lane. But more often than not, you're just asking Solo to lose lane gracefully, and then come into team fight and get a good engage or a nice GP ult barrel or something like that. You're not asking Solo to do much more than just be in the right place for your champion and just don't do anything stupid. That's all he. And as long as Solo can do that, Apollo can position well in the team fight, get a lot of damage, and Featherven can carry the game. And that's how Clutch wins games. Also, Hakuo, yeah, he's amazing. His Thresh is really good. He has a few picks where he can take over the game, and he is a lot more focused on lane than a lot of other supports, but he also can roam well, and he's a major shot caller as well. And I think the combination of Featherven and Hakuo wins this team enough games for him to be solidly in playoffs, and also have a shot at getting through to top 4 again.
Yeah, I think Clutch feels like the bar team. If you're better than them, you're a good team. If you're worse than them, you're probably down in the lower team.
Alright, I feel that way. So, Levi Watch. Are they going to play Levi this year?
He's on 100 Thieves Academy, I think.
100 Thieves Academy.
Not on Clutch.
Okay,
Yeah.
both of them are the same. Both of them,
The Clutch Gaming Academy is Max Trobo, Moon, Sun, Piglet, and Vulcan.
I think Solo is a solid role player, so you keep him over Baxter over so far.
Yeah.
I think Vulcan is a very promising talent. I will be surprised not to see him on a team next year.
Okay, another question. Is Solo the same as who was the top laner in EU that I say might pull a Yasuo or Riven on?
Oh, Spacey Jet? No.
No.
Solo is, I'd say, at the level of Lawlo.
Okay, so no, we're going to get Solo. Give me to stop this kid. All right. Next team we're gonna talk about, not players' team, is my team, my favorite team, the team that got me into here, led by the illustrious Rick Fox, Glory and Holy, hallowed be thy name as well, Echo Fox. The team is the same, and they exceeded expectations. A lot of people thought they would get 6 or 7 or 8 because, the personalities. But they got third. They're the only team that beat Team Liquid in the playoffs. No one else did. And I feel like they are championship favorites because the meta fits perfectly in them. Winnie can be aggressive. Dara can be aggressive. ADC is not that important, so Artek and Adrian can save. Phoenix can be aggressive. The whole top side of the map for Extra can be aggressive. Okay, am I right? Am I an idiot?
I think Echo Fox is in a good place. I don't think they're winning anything. I think at the end of this split, Echo Fox takes third and is happy to just qualify into champion points and just take the second seed. I think their overall team is strong, but it doesn't. As long as you have that bot lane, you're going to be exposed by the teams like 100 Thieves, like Team Liquid, like TSM. Even like like Clutch can expose your bot lane and leave it to a point where generally the lane that you need to carry the most is weak. On top of that, their mid laner, being Phoenix, he's a good player, but he always will have those weird moments where you're like, why were you there? What were you thinking with that one? That sort of take a game that you're winning or you've won into a point where like, oh, they might manage to somehow lose this. And Hooney's obviously always a rock. He's good. Dardock's there to enable him. He's learned how to play around top lane a lot. But I don't see this team clicking something else together that puts them into a surefire better than the teams that should have improved as well.
Okay, other people who are not believers?
Yeah. I like this team. I think they're a good contender but they're not gonna win. Like, this team is really, really aggressive for the most part, but at the same time, they're also very volatile. Like, let's be honest. Like Echo Fox has not had, like, until their downturn towards the end of the regular season, they did not have a whole lot of experience playing from behind. They, sure, got Hooney, who's a really solid rock in the top lane, who can literally solo carry you a game. You've got Dardock, who knows how to play around like his solo laners. Got Phoenix, who's super aggressive, but at the same time, sometimes he's a bit brain dead. But like, I don't know. I feel like, but that bot lane it's an issue. It's a problem. like Altec is not at the same caliber as his peers. He is very weak in lane. Like all it takes is just get up in his face. If you take like a cockroach that was sitting on the floor and just put it in his face, I'm sure he'd run away. That's just how. Like,
I think most people would, to be
like,
honest.
I think most people run away too if a cockroach in my face.
yeah, but the point is that even like a little bit of pressure is enough to like make Altec retreat. Overall, I still think they can pull off a really good regular season. Until they get figured out, I have them placing in first regular season.
Wait, Michelle, you said they're going to get it on championship. They place third again. So that means you have a different second and first then?
First being Liquid, who takes uses up the points, and then I said I think TSM takes first or second.
Okay.
Which doesn't give him enough points to overtake him.
Yeah, Echo Fox is a very strong team. The bot lane is a weakness, as everyone knows. They are a really, really good team. Like, I am not a massive Echo Fox fan. I do have my doubts for them. Like, I placed them 7+ a bit because I wasn't sure how the attitudes between the players would evolve, and I thought they had the chance to blow up, but they've been really mature about it. Dardock's grown up. Huni with his time on SKT has matured. Phoenix has never been an issue. Asian hasn't created any issues, and also Alltech is quite chilled out from what we've heard. And I do really like the roster. I have them coming in second overall, and getting in on championship points. And I think, I think this team's going to go to Worlds. I don't think they're going to do good at Worlds because their bot lane will get massively exposed. But I think they can get third in the group at Worlds.
They're going to make it out of Worlds and win. They're going to win it all.
No, they're not getting out of groups.
They're going undefeated.
I want to make a comparison here that Echo Fox has an on button. They don't have the off button. The moment they start losing the lanes that they're supposed to win, everything starts to crumble. Because they don't have that bot lane that can secure them something else when another lane is being pushed back. And the only response that they have at that point is forward, forward, forward. And, oh, this was supposed to be warded, why isn't it? Oh, I'm dead. Oh, we're losing. It doesn't happen often, I agree to that. That very often their top triangle is really, really good. But when it happens, and when teams start to exploit that fact, they might start losing.
Okay, here's a question. Do they have the best top triangle in the West? They're not talking about NA, in the West. Who they know Phoenix?
The top trio, no. If you're looking for best trio topside in the West, you have to keep G2 and Fnatic in that conversation as well. And both of those teams have a mid laner that can win more and enable their jungler to do more with on the map. Because Phoenix is the worst out of him, Caps and Perks. It might be the best top trio in NA. There is a bit of competition. I would put them in at the top there, but it's
I think it is.
It's definitely not the best in the West.
We can find out with Rivals. I'm excited for with Rivals. I want to see Fnatic versus Echo Fox, Huni versus Reckless. Will they hug it out?
Sadly, Reckless will wipe the floor with Altec.
See what I go worry about the bot lane? They will get that faith. Rick Fox gonna talk to him, and they gonna have faith. Just believe. Look, my sports.
All right, so I'm gonna try to not sound biased because I'm a huge Echo Fox fan. Well, I think the top triangle is the best in NA. I wouldn't say in the West. I will say it's in the conversation, but I'm not sure to give one answer right now. I think the most important person in how this team will perform during the next split is Inero. I think the coaching staff and how they can adapt the team to the different changing metas and the playoffs will be what decides if this team breaks it or makes it at the end. I think the meta is incredibly favorable to them, at least at the first half. So they will have a strong start. I have them at second at the moment. I don't think they're the best team in the league. I think if I have to rate them of how the team is in the league, I would say third to fourth, but the meta is strongly in their favor. As I said, it will be all about the coaching staff for me.
Okay, question. On the academy team, they have Nintendo. That's top later. That doesn't matter. DeMonte have the 5-game suspension, so they brought in Yusui, Y-U-S-U-I, that person. Yusui for 5 games. If DeMonte have his head on straight, do you see a world where they put in DeMonte and loss?
There's potential.
Yeah, there's potential for it, but I don't think they're going to. I think the first move that they make to their LCS roster will be signing Piglet. And that'll be when he's...
By the way, Piglet is going to be going to have the highest contract in NA.
No.
Yes, he is.
Okay, if you're talking about esports history, you have to look at all of the teams from China, and you have to think of all of the contracts for Team Liquid and 100 Thieves and all of those other teams with a lot of money. Piglet isn't worth the same money as Bjergsen or Rookie or Boozy.
But he's free, he's an NA resident, and he's a class ADC.
Okay, is Piglet worth more money than Uzi?
No.
There you go. He's not going to be the highest paid in esports history because Uzi commands millions.
It doesn't matter how much how good you are. It doesn't matter if you. That's what free agency is. I'm pretty sure if Uzi's called NA.
The only way Piglet becomes the most paid player is if Liquid signs him for some reason. Again.
Oh god.
And the worst part is I can totally see that happening.
If Uzi calls the NA team and say, "Hey, I'm available. Come get me." Oh, that's a $10 million contract right there.
Maybe more.
That's
minimum.
Are you making in China?
I'd say it takes at least 20 million to even make Uzi consider it.
I think his competition mindset is too strong to consider NA.
No, in this situation, he's saying he called the NA team saying, "I'm available. I want NA. Come get me." I say 10 million.
No, if he calls,
That's because he's saying, "Hey, you can pay more than the Chinese teams," which won't happen.
Some can. I think Golden Guardians can.
No.
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 China has a lot of money, and when I say a lot of money, I'd say they could easily pay like 10, 20 million per player.
Even the team with the most capital isn't going to try to outbid the Chinese teams.
Not happening anytime soon.
Because at a point where the government might get
It's a
involved.
lose-lose scenario. Not happening.
Yeah. All right. So the second place team, which spoiler, I don't think going to make the playoffs, is 100 Thieves. It's someday Meteos Ryu, Cody Sun, Aphromu. The first NA resident MVP Aphromu. I thought Meteos won it a long time ago, but he didn't apparently. I don't like this team. I'm gonna be honest. I don't like Ryu and Meteos. I don't.
I think they're my favorite academy.
Yeah. Yeah, so I like their academy team. I don't like their LCS team. I don't like their coaching staff. Ryu, I think, is too weak a player for them to even think about getting as close as they were last split. I think Meteos, he's good, but I'm not sure how. I don't think the meta suits him at all.
And how long he lasts, because he quit. He quit on P1.
Yeah, he quit on P1, but why wouldn't you quit on P1? That team was horrible. You've got Cody-san and Aframu at bot lane. I do like Aframu, but I don't think he's anywhere near as good as he used to be. Cody-san can do well, but I think he's kind of hit his ceiling until he can sort out some mental issues he has.
Just on a play.
Yeah. And the top lane is really good. And he's be in the conversation for the best in the world. But yeah, even though Someday is that good, I have 100 Thieves getting 7. I don't like their play, I don't like their shot calling, I don't like their coaching staff.
So
all I do every time someone goes, their shot calling is amazing, I find the clip that I always do, and I point to it and I say, the cannon minion has better target selection.
Okay, better question.
You gotta show me that clip later.
If 100 Thieves not making it, will Levi and Insanity, would it be part of the team? Would we see a change of Levi in the LCS?
There's potential for it. If they get, I don't think Linsanity or any of the other Academy mid laners will be at the quality 100 Thieves will want. But I think after this year, it's Levi in, Meteos out. Whether Meteos is on an Academy team or a different roster, I'm not sure. But I think in the mid lane, if they can pick up someone like Pobelter, that'd be good. Like another, or
just any native North American mid laner.
Alright, here is 100 Thieves' first 4 games. Team Liquid, CLG, FlyQuest, Cloud9. They can start 1-3.
Yeah, I think it's not 1-3. Let's get someone who maybe isn't as negative about 100 Thieves talking now, though.
Yeah. I'm relatively high on them.
Same here.
Same.
Don't have that stuff.
Yeah, I'm actually like a little more high on 100 Thieves compared to all of you. For the most, like, you got Someday, who's a really good top laner. I've kind of always liked Someday, even on his days in the KT roster when he was in the conversation for best top laner in Korea. Next to like what, Smeb? I think Cody-san and Aframu. Like, is it safe to say that Aframu makes his 80 carries good?
Hey, Stick good.
Doublelift is better than when he was with Aframu.
Cody-san is solid.
That's true.
I think.
That's true, but like Cody-san and Ole, yeah, they made a pretty good. Like, he made the finals 2 splits in a row. That kind of goes to like where, and his ability to play with like a different support. Like Ole was a more playmaking kind of support, while Aframu was
a playmaking support.
Yeah, he's also a playmaking support, but he's also more calculated about it compared to Ole. Like, it's more calculated aggression from Aframu, and I think he kind of learned how to, like, you know, I don't have to get that kill. I could just focus on farming up rather than, like, yeah, if I could force him out of lane, that's a free win. That's also a win for me. Or if I could burn his flash, that's also a win for me. Like, it can be aggressive, but also be calculated. I do have concerns about Meteos because, like, motivational issues and, like, motivational issues. And if you want to talk about coaching staff, they got Prawley, and they got Nate shot. Like, you see, probably is one of the best coaches right now as it stands in the NALCS. There's a reason he won Coach of the Split. And Nate shot for his first time in the League of Legends scene. Yeah, he didn't do a bad job in running this. I think there's a lot of promise for 100 Thieves and their future going forward. But as for right now, I see 100 Thieves finishing off in third place. I think Echo Fox and TSM are going to beat them out and like getting those playoff buys.
Probably best job was when Forgiven told him to go fuck himself and did his own thing. That's not a sign of a good coach.
True. I mean, wait, I missed this. How did I miss that part?
Because you don't pay attention to EU.
Yeah, probably best H2K best thing was to go F himself and then just did his own thing.
Also,
I mean, it's forgiven. It's forgiven. You're gonna get that kind of talk. Even like,
but without Forgiven,
like,
what did Prawley done? What have he done?
The coach of the split he won, every single time you look at the first and second and say they did the better job that split, no matter the split. You look at because there's times he didn't win coach of the split, and you're like, yeah, he shouldn't be anywhere on that list. But he wins coach of the split, and it's literally because his team did well, and he just made sure that they didn't kill each other.
And he also such a nice guy. Such a nice guy.
Apparently,
apparently he was an asshole as a player. So shout out.
My opinion on 100 Thieves falls a little bit more in line with Flibbles. I think they're good. They have good players, but I don't think they're going to make the kind of improvement that other teams did. And I think it's very obvious that of the teams in LCS, they're the team most likely to just go kaboom from their personalities, because they already did it once in Spring Split, where Prawley himself said the team fell apart and just kind of came back together in time. And I think that is enough to make me nervous about them. And looking back at my predictions, I would probably put them lower than I did, to be honest. I had them at 4th, but honestly, considering they're a bit more, I'd probably drop them to like maybe 5th, or even competing for playoffs in 6th. But I don't think this team's great. I think they're what they already were, but in a probably more difficult, more competitive season.
All right. And they got on Titan. You want to talk about Team Liquid? No, 100 Thieves.
Yeah. I think 100 Thieves is the toughest team to predict, because they can be anywhere from 1st to 9th. They can go completely boom and just, and they could actually become a great team. They could synergize. They could actually become good. I completely agree that Meteos needs to be subbed out if he is not a good enough jungler for Levi. That's needed.
Age of Levi.
Yep. Ryu has experience. That's the best thing I can say about him.
He's a veteran.
He's a veteran. That's
made it to the semi-finals in Worlds.
Yeah.
Basically, because Forgiven.
Yeah, he got carried to the semi-finals of Worlds.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, he got carried.
Yeah.
But
and
I think that if they can just stick together and not get at each other's throats, they can make a 3rd or 2nd place. I am sure if they get into the gauntlet or anywhere up from that, they're making Worlds.
I just want to know what kind of fights they would get. What did Afamu say? Did Afamu slap somebody?
It's hard to imagine the team trying to slit each other's throats.
Yeah, they're
Some
not going
parts
to
are
get at
happening.
each other's throats. I think you start beating them, and they are the team that's most likely to go, oh, we're bad. They're a lot less likely to recover from confidence issues than most of the other teams. It's that they won in the semi-finals against Clutch Gaming last split, because that game 5 they won it because their minion waves were pushed more than Clutch Gaming's, and that was it. They won the semi-final entirely because Clutch didn't control the side lanes at all.
See, if I was a coach against 100 Thieves, I would just hover Tristana every time I can get it. Just hover, like...
No, the way you beat 100 Thieves is you control sideways, and that's it. You fell group 5 mid, and then you go, okay, cool, we'll just 1-3-1, we'll gracefully lose mid lane, and we'll take 5 towers on the side.
Alright.
Okay, so my thoughts on 100 Thieves. I agree with Titan that they are a very hard team to predict. I think they will be able to reach from 3rd to 6th. I have them inside playoffs. I have them on 3rd at the moment. I think Someday is really good. Meteos did an admirable job. He had the best KDA, died the least of any jungler in the league, had the 2nd highest skill participation. Rio is very solid, Codisan is good. Afumo will always be a good shot caller. So I think they have the ingredients. Yeah, that's it.
Alright. Shadow, you waited all day for this.
Or Seeker's Black, but you know, you have to...
Team, yes, we're now going to talk about your team. That one spring, Team Liquid, you can start the analysis. I will be here listening.
I mean, what do I have to say? They have the best player in every role. No, I think TL has very obvious problems going into this split. Their mid laner looked weak and right there at MSI. Even though we had a very good performance in playoffs, I think he's someone that everyone's going to look at and say, yikes, I hope he doesn't do as bad here, because if he does, they're in trouble. I think their top lane has a similar problem to Licorice, where he's only really great in one meta. I think, in fairness, I think tanks are something that you could play in either meta a little easier than playing or forcing carries into a tank meta. Their jungler, Xmithie's really just good. Like, he's really good. He's probably the best jungler in North America still. He's very smart with what he does, where he goes, and how he is able to enable his team. Double Lift is the best North AD carry in North America right now. There's really no other AD carry who tested it, and he showed that like during the split, or after the split. During the split, he wasn't great. And then Ole, I think it's someone everyone's gonna look at and say he's a liability. We have to see if he's good still. At Rivals, he had, or not Rivals, sorry. At MSI, he had basically a boom moment where he potentially had panic attacks on stage, I think, and had to bench himself. And I think it's not a good sign when your support has that much anxiety and under the pressure. I don't think it's the end of the world for them. I think that they can work around it and work with him. But TL is not just like coming into the split with people saying, oh, they got this. They won last split, they're good. Albeit, though, I still have them winning. Definitely from a bit of a fan bias. But I think they're still a team that can, as long as they bring together what their problems are and solve them, which they show they could do last season by playoffs, I think they'll be good.
See, my problem, because I look at TL, I look at every other team they might see. They might see a TSO, they might see an Echo Fox, and what's stopping them? Like, okay, Double Lift, you have that corner. You can do stuff in bot lane. We can play something safe. We are going to abuse the HE double hockey sticks at a pull out to the Impact. They're not going to have fun. Actually, Impact, you're not going to play League of Legends. We gank you 24/7. We're going to die with you.
The problem with that narrative is you put all of your resources into camping Impact, then Pobelter's doing fine. He's doing fine for himself.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what he wants to do.
Yeah.
You can do enough with little.
Like, you focus the top side, you focus that triangle. Y'all not gonna have fun on Pobelter Impact.
The Jedi,
Your problem with that is Xmithy, Impact, and Pobelter do really well in low economy game styles. They're not there to smash lane or completely take over the game. They're there to survive and get team fights and just play decently. Like, Impact can take over a game sometimes, but that's not that often. The bot lane is the focus for Team Liquid, but more than the bot lane, it's the map that Team Liquid loves to play. They play a really intelligent style of League of Legends. They were the only team in North America that I saw properly controlling sideways, split pushing decently, and getting minion waves on their side. That's why in playoffs nobody could touch them, because they just out-rotated, out-macroed everyone they came across. They were the best team in Spring Split for a reason, and that reason isn't because they have amazing, amazing players, even though they do have Doublelift, who's the best AD carry in North America, and I think top 2 in the West at the moment. And I do really like the team. I like the coaching staff. I like everything that they're doing. I think they win the split again. I think they're going to be the first seed from North America into Worlds, and I think it's going to be closer than the last split. But I don't. I think they're going to have some close series in the playoffs. But a team winning the split.
I can see them winning. I have them second. I have them second right now because I don't really like putting VP champions, especially after MSI. They didn't have a break.
When was the last time that a team won NA for the first time and didn't win the following split?
That never happened.
It has not happened.
There's only been once, and that was Spring
TSM,
2013.
Right?
Yeah, TSM in Spring 2013 won NA LCS for the first time. Then Cloud9 comes in the summer, wins 2 straight. Then TSM take 2, and then CLG take 2, and then TSM take 3.
In fairness, CLG lost season after MSI.
Yeah.
Or the split after MSI.
Yeah.
CLG won MSI when it first started MSI. So yeah. I like Team Liquid. They all have nice people, even though after a while I was mad at Pobelter because he picked Yasuo. Okay.
The thing
But
you
Shadow
have to
was
do,
mad at Impact.
North America as a region follows patterns a lot more than any other region. And the pattern is Team Liquid is going to win the split.
I see Team Liquid. Every team, top 16 that I have, I can see winning the split. If somebody told me they did, I see, oh yeah, it is possible. So I have them second. I have them losing to Echo Fox in a 5-game series.
So here's the thing. Here's how I think you beat Liquid. You need to have a mid laner that can abuse Pobelter just so hard without any help. And I don't think any of the other mid laners in NA plays that style precisely. Jerksen can do it because he's just that good.
The only ones I can
Maybe
see
Jensen.
are the ones that have been imported from EU in Bjergsen, Jensen, and Pepperford. Those are the only ones I can see.
Yeah, maybe those. But they usually don't favor that style of just dumping your face, so I don't think that Pobelter's weakness will affect the team that much. Impact will lose the lane gracefully, whatever you do to him. Xmithy is really good. I think
He's so smart.
Dardoch maybe can abuse him, but I don't see many other players. Oh well, Santorin of course. Santorin is the best jungler.
Yes, Centurion. Hey, remember, Loco
Double
Doco
and
called
only is the
Centurion.
strong part.
Loco Doco says Centurion is an A+ player. That he's better than Faker.
When did he say that?
Go Thorn, like at one of Thorn's podcasts, he talked about Loco Doco says Centurion is mechanically just as good as Faker.
Okay. So
There's a reason
here's
why
the
he's
thing
not
about
coaching
Team
now.
Liquid that scares me, to be honest. Their preparation against teams is very good. That's the one thing I was afraid from on playoffs. They just know how to scout and plan against any team very well.
So how well? Okay, next year question. How many of the members of Team Liquid are here next year? I think Impact retires.
I
think
Impact might retire, but I think they keep the same roster at least for the spring split next year.
I think you keep it. There's no reason.
Yeah, they don't have a reason to swap it. I think 2020 there'll be some changes, but I don't
Of course,
see.
2020 maybe some
I
changes.
don't. Actually, I'll go. I don't think I even have any contracts expiring anytime soon.
I think the only player I'd be iffy on them keeping is someone like Ole, depending on how split goes. If Ole is okay throughout split, and then they get to Worlds and he has the same problem he had at MSI, I think then they consider dropping him. But he's the only one I can see that problem.
If I'm Liquid for next split, I probably drop Impact voluntarily for my boy Viper, because he will be so LCS ready next split.
Impact,
only depending on how he gonna work.
Yeah, I was going to say, Impact is signed through the end of 2020, Xmithie signed through the end of 2019, Double S signed through 2020, Ole signed through till the end of this year, and same for Pobelter. So the only changes
Wait a minute.
might make are Ole and Pobelter at the end of this year, but I don't really see that happening.
Wow, that's interesting. Wait a minute, did it just take the Immortal contracts, or they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they ate all the Immortal players' contracts besides Ole, who they signed a separate contract with.
Oh, no one gave him a year-long contract? Damn. I'd be pissed.
Yeah, the only real change I could see them making at the end of the split would be Ole for Joey. If they if Ole still has mental problems in the postseason and internationally.
Okay, some off-season questions. Biggest name from another region coming to NA is?
Wait, from another region, right?
Yes.
From another region.
Ooh,
Okay.
tough one.
Biggest name that I think they could get. I don't see.
Yeah.
I don't really see it happening.
It's really hard.
Are we talking any team here?
Anything.
Any team? Visit Chachi.
I don't think Chachi's leaving EU.
He might not have a choice. Remember, franchising happening.
Yeah, franchising is happening, but Chachi's still an amazing top player. He's going to get money from probably a football org. I think
wait a minute,
the-
Titan. What's your opinion on Team Liquid? We didn't ask you for Team Liquid.
I don't have that much strong opinion on Team Liquid. I think they are the best team in North America right now because they are that good. They have learned what the Koreans have known for years. It is the map control. It is the split pushing. It is you have to be able to read the map. You have to do that stuff to win. And no other American org has managed to do that this year. So of course they're gonna win. There's no question.
Okay.
Okay, I have a big name that could go to NA next split. The one I see the most likely, and also a relatively big name, is Kikis. That's what
Kikis to NA?
I think Kikis to NA is the most likely. I still don't think it's likely that NA is going to sign an EU or Korean or a Chinese player. but I think that's the one that's most
Here's
likely to
my
happen.
surprise. Score Rush. The one that KT drops is coming to NA.
No, that's not happening.
No.
Rush went to Korea because he wanted to compete in Korea, and why would the best jungler in Korea leave?
Nice boy Rush.
So also reminder, Latam and LAS are getting merged. We'll have less teams, so possibly players like White Lotus or Seiya or Wolf will be free agents.
Yeah.
Isn't White Lotus very toxic?
He's a bit toxic, but then what top AD carry isn't?
True.
Stixay is a nice
I said top AD carry. The only one I can think of is Regnus.
That's
Like, you've got Double Lift, you've got Forgiven, you've got what?
Yarnan.
Yarnan.
Yarnan isn't.
Yeah, Hyanan isn't, but I said top AD carry.
He's a top 80 carry.
No, he's not.
Dev Star sounds hurt. Now, like you heard it. You
It's
like
like-
this.
Yeah, you just have to
Sneaky.
think. Dardoch is a
Sneaky.
good jungler. He's toxic. Sneaky is incredibly memey. Like White Lotus, I think White Lotus and Seiya and Tearwolf, they would fit in really well in an academy team for NA. There's a lot of players from other regions which can fit in to NA academy, and I think from the Latin American teams, like from CB LOL, from Turkey, they might go over.
Okay.
He's already seen 5 years.
Next question. Biggest
Larson is an
surprise.
academy next year.
Okay. Next year. Biggest surprise in NAEU. Biggest surprise. You see, like somebody leaving a team, somebody getting traded. In EU, a team not making it. Your biggest surprise for off season.
wow.
Does it have to be one we think will happen, or just something that we
Might think
Fnatic not
happen.
winning.
okay. Something that I really want to see. I think it has potential to happen. I think it's incredibly unlikely, but my favourite thing to think about for an off season in NA that would be massive and would be better.
Well, I
for both
couldn't hear you.
parties.
You cut off.
Yeah, I haven't said it yet. I'm just thinking the best thing for both of these parties, and also the biggest surprise, and also something that will take the entire League of Legends scene by storm. Bjergsen leaving TSM.
No, that was mine. It's by far the most obvious one.
It's the most obvious thing to say, but it's something I've wanted for over the last year. Because
It's possible.
I think Bjergsen
question
and
is-
TSM together have hit their peak, and I think unless Bjergsen leaves TSM, he's hit his ceiling.
Bjergsen joins
Is Reggie willing to let him go? That's the biggest question. Let's say it were to happen. Let's say Bjergsen were to was considering leaving TSM right now. Let's say that for a moment. What are the odds that Reggie is actually willing to let him go?
Reggie can't do anything if Bjergsen says no.
If Bjergsen's a free agent, Reggie don't have a choice. He can just sign with somebody else. Bjergsen joins CLG. We pulled a reverse double lift.
I have one, and that is Ocelot and G2 not signing for EU.
That would be hilarious because all the crap we talked about, like, I'm done with these parasites. And Riot said, oh.
So I think something we should do. Who's getting to watch NA is something we haven't done yet.
What?
Who are the
three
Worlds?
teams?
Yeah, who are the 3 teams from NA who go to Worlds?
Okay. Mine is TL because they win, Echo Fox because of points, and CLG because of the gauntlet.
Ooh.
Power friendship.
I have Team Liquid winning the split, so the first seed. I have Echo Fox coming second seed, and I have Cloud9 winning the gauntlet.
Okay, for me, I think TL are going to make another playoff run. I didn't give my prediction for the regular season, so I'll say that they finish in 5th place. Simply because MSI hangover is a thing for teams that return. And they tend to not do well at the beginning of the split, at the first few weeks. So I have them making a playoff run. I can see them winning the split. Echo Fox on points. And TSM through the gauntlet.
Shadow?
I'm going to echo let's start this one. I think Team Liquid wins purely based off winning summer and spring. I think that Echo Fox gets through narrowly with points, because I think that 100 Thieves actually still take third in my mind. But because Echo Fox get the points later, they automatically qualify over 100 Thieves. And then I think playoffs or regional comes down to TSM versus C9, because come on now, it's C9. And,
honestly, with the regionals, I feel like it's so close. It feels close. Like it could be although I have TSM because they're really good at best of fives, historically speaking. Let's not act like this is the end, like that one quarterfinals loss at the end of the world. Like it could be them, it could be C9, it could be 100 Thieves, it could be Clutch.
Isn't the story at the moment for North America, because TSM didn't get to the finals, isn't the story just everyone beats everyone and Cloud9 wins the gauntlet?
Hey, I have CLG.
It happened before, so it can happen again.
Can you go with that?
My 3 teams are Liquid, 100 Thieves, and Echo Fox. Not in that order. Echo Fox first.
Okay, Titan?
Yeah. I think it's going to be a very, very close race, no matter what teams get up there. But my prediction is Team Liquid first, 100 Thieves second, and Echo Fox goes through the gauntlet.
All right. This has been the NA Fan Takeover Rough Draft Podcast. Like and subscribe, leave a comment, join the Discord. We have all nice people on some days, which is the best day.
Yeah.
So, thank y'all for enjoying this with us. We had a lot of fun, and peace out. Ooh.